welcome to Asset Television News. I am Emanuela Akwaya. First, the headlines. ADC issues 72 hours ultimatum to Inec to restore NWC members. Nigerian troops foil bandits' attack on another Plateau community. Vice President Kashim urges Nigerians to embrace AI technology. Now the news in detail. The African Democratic Congress has given the Independent National Electoral Commission a 72-hour ultimatum to restore the Senator David Mark-led National Working Committee on its portal or be ready to face the consequences. Leaders of the party this Wednesday staged a protest at the Inec headquarters Abuja to drive home their point, accusing the commission of being a ready tool in the hands of the ruling party. Earlier, the national youth leader of the ADC, Balarabe Rufai, who stated the position of the opposition party at a press conference in Abuja on Tuesday, warned that if the Professor Joash Amopitan-led Inec fails to comply with its demand, youths and concerned Nigerians will be left with no choice than to occupy Inec offices nationwide. Speaking in turn at the press conference, the leader of the coalition of CSOs, Ibrahim Garbawala, said some forces were allegedly using the INEC against the opposition in the country. He declared the attempts to make Nigeria a one-party state will not stand as it will be rejected by the people. INEC, in a surprise move last week, withdrew its recognition of the Mark-led NWC and delisted the ADC leadership from its portal, citing the Court of Appeal order directing parties in the suit over the leadership of the opposition party to maintain status quo ante bellum. Rufai reiterated the demand of the ADC for the immediate resignation of the INEC chairman, Joash Amopitan, in addition to a public apology by the Electoral Commission to Nigerians for its unconstitutional and partisan conduct. People's Democratic Party has called on the Independent National Electoral Commission to clarify allegations that the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, offered land and cash gifts to senior officials of the electoral body. In a statement issued on April 7, 2026, PDP National Publicity Secretary Ini Obong described the reports as disturbing and worrisome, urging the Commission to urgently address the claims in order to preserve public confidence in Nigeria's electoral process. According to the statement, recent media reports alleged that Wike allocated land and provided financial gifts to senior INEC staff. The party also referenced another report in which Mohammed Kudu Haruna, supervising National Commissioner of the FCT, was quoted as acknowledging receipt of land allocation. The PDP also questioned why such allocations, if true, were limited to officials connected to election management, while professionals in other essential sectors had not reportedly benefited from similar gestures. The party also urged INEC to uphold transparency and impartiality in its conduct, stressing the importance of public trust ahead of future elections. Troops of the Nigerian Army operatives of the Department of State Services and local volunteer forces on Tuesday successfully foiled what locals said would have been a large-scale attack by bandits on Bagna and Erena communities in Shiroro local government of Niger State. Credible security sources disclosed that the move by the operatives followed advanced intelligence on the planned attack. Information has it that as bandits in their numbers made to storm Bagna and Erene communities, the security operatives and volunteers ambushed them, killing scores of the attackers. Residents of the communities expressed gratitude to the security operatives and volunteer forces, noting that their gallantry saved them from what would have been a major disaster. The federal government on Tuesday, April 7, 2026, opened the trial of 500 terror suspects at a federal high court sitting in Abuja. The suspects were allegedly implicated in a series of terror attacks and believed to have participated mainly in the northern part of the country, where more than 2,000 people were killed and properties destroyed. Some of the suspects were accused of aiding and abetting the heinous crime through direct and indirect sponsorship with either finance, arms and ammunition, as well as food supplies. Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice AGF, Prince Lateef Fagbemi SAN, supported by the Director of the Public Prosecution of the Federation, Rotimi Oyedepo SAN, is leading the prosecution team. In the same vein, the Director of the Legal Aid Council of Nigeria, Aliyu Bagudu Abubakar, is leading the defense team with support from several lawyers. Fagbemi, who confirmed the decision of the federal government on the trial, announced that a total of 227 suspects were put on trial before 10 justices of the Federal High Court. Asset will be back after the short break. Stay tuned.
Mom, 20,000 naira without building I told you about.
20,000?
Yeah.
So that just give you money?
Yeah, but I need more for this new release.
My hands are busy. Go ahead, send it yourself. 20,000, okay?
Facial verification. What the?
Forgot to mention, your dad taught me how to set it up in order to avoid sending large sum of money accidentally.
Come on.
You think you can attract me the way you studied with your dad? You are lucky I'm always sending it. This boy.
With Opay's large transaction shield, your face is the only access. Opay, beyond banking.
Welcome back from the break. Independent National Electoral Commission has flagged off its mega voter registration exercise in Lagos Central as part of ongoing efforts to expand voter access and enhance citizens' participation in the electoral process. The flag-off ceremony held at Ajele Sports Complex, Campus, Lagos Island, was led by the Resident Electoral Commissioner of Lagos State, Professor Ayobami Salami, alongside members of the Commission's management team in the state. The introduction of the mega center is aimed at addressing the high volume of prospective registrants in densely populated urban areas, reducing congestion at regular registration points, and providing faster, more efficient services through the deployment of additional personnel and equipment. The initiative also seeks to bring registration services closer to citizens in strategic locations, thereby improving accessibility and overall voter experience. The exercise, which commenced on Monday, 7th April 2026, is designed to provide eligible citizens with convenient access to a broad range of voter registration services. These include fresh registration for new voters, transfer of registration, update or correction of voter details, as well as replacement of lost or damaged permanent voter cards. Vice President Senator Kashim Shettima has affirmed Nigerians' preparedness to lead Africa in deploying artificial intelligence to unlocking new pathways for continent's prosperity. He said, while AI has become humanity's most powerful general-purpose technology that would define lives and the future of mankind, the technology will continue to serve as a profound engine of creativity, capable of augmenting human intelligence and expanding the horizons of human possibilities. Senator Shettima, who spoke in Lagos during the official launch of the AI University Innovation, explained why Nigeria must not be passive in the unfolding AI era. Represented by Deputy Chief of Staff to the President, Senator Ibrahim Hassan Hadijia, the Vice President said the nation must build digital foundations that allow its innovators, governments, and enterprises to create solutions that reflect its realities and address the country's unique challenges. There was heavy gridlock along Abacha Barracks Nyanya Kefi Expressway in Abuja on Tuesday, April 7, 2026, following the destruction of the multi-billion naira Kobo bus terminal built by Nyesom Wike, Minister of Federal Capital Territory.
The Kobo bus terminal was inaugurated in June 2025 and described during its commissioning as a state-of-the-art edifice by the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. However, the rain, which came with a windstorm on Tuesday, damaged the roof and other structures of the bus terminal, which yet to be put into use. The debris of the destroyed property was littered on the Major Abacha Barrack in Nyanya Kefi, ever-busy Trunk A Road, a development that further compounded the chaotic traffic situation for workers and other citizens that were returning home after a busy day at work and business places. The damaged bus terminal also destroyed some vehicles that were caught up in the traffic. Mania OCEB, Asset Television News. The Kobo bus.
Women in Angwa Rukuba, Jos North local government area of Plateau State on Tuesday halted a planned mass burial for victims of the recent Palm Sunday attack, blocking access to a church to demand the release of 3 detained youths. The protest disrupted funeral arrangements for victims of the attack, which left at least 28 people dead and several others injured, as mourners, sympathizers, and officials were prevented from entering the burial venue. Dressed in black and carrying green leaves, the women locked the gates of the Ekwa Church and chanted solidarity songs, creating a tense standoff as about 7 corpses were brought for interment. Residents at the scene said the protest was triggered by the arrest of 3 youths by security operatives in connection with investigations into the killings. Hours into the standoff, the detained youths, Joseph Britrus, Azidadi, and Moses Kefis, were released and returned to the community, throwing chairs from the protesters. And that's the size of our news at this hour. Please follow us on our social media handles for more news and program. On behalf of the news crew, I am Emanuela Akwaya.